Good evening and welcome to the SPARC Meeting. Let the record show the regular SPARC Meeting is now called to order for August 5th, 2026. Would the clerk please call roll?
Yes. Chair Velasco?
Here.
Vice Chair Carlton?
Here.
Committee Member Hurani?
Here.
Committee Member Markow?
Here.
Committee Member McCarthy?
Here.
Committee Member Pishney?
Here.
Committee Member Price?
Here.
Committee Member Rena?
Here.
And we're all present. We do have a quorum.
Excellent, excellent. If you haven't had a chance, please read the regular meeting minutes and any comments or corrections.
I motion to pass the minutes.
Excellent. We have a first. Do we have a
Second.
second? We have a second. Let's call for a vote.
Chair Velasco?
Aye.
Vice Chair Carlton?
Aye.
Committee Member Hurani?
Aye.
Committee Member Markow?
Aye.
Committee Member McCarthy?
Aye.
Committee Member Pishney?
Aye.
Committee Member Price?
Aye.
Committee Member Rena?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously with members present.
Excellent. Thank you. Number 3, let's talk about the Brews and Bites 2026 event. Staff, can we get a report?
Hello, good evening, everybody. I am Becky Lowndes, Special Events Supervisor. We're here at the City of Santee. Provide you an update today for the Brews and Bites fundraiser, which will be happening on Saturday, October 17th from 5:30 to 9:30 at Town Center Community Park East. So we started our ticket sales May 1st with some early bird deals. And to give you an update, we have currently sold 382 tickets. Our target is 1,200, so we're at 32% of our being sold out. For some historical comparisons, as of the same day last year, we had sold 251 tickets. So currently 382. Last year we had sold 251. And then in 2024, we had sold 395. So while we are still more than we were the last couple years, where the push is not done, so we want to continue to promote and advertise the event to make sure that we're ongoing with our ticket sales with the goal to sell out at 1,200. Let's see. So for vendor recruitment right now, we have a total of 30 vendors signed up, 7 food vendors, 17 alcohol or beverage vendors, and 6 businesses. Compared to last year, for the total of participating vendors that attended, we had 52 total. So we had 21 food, 18 alcohol, and 13 business. And in 2024, we had 43. So again, 2024 had 43, 52 for 25, and we are currently at 30. So we do still have a couple months to go until the event happens. So our team is actively going out to businesses and trying to solicit some participation as well. So if you as SPARC members or anybody watching online or listening has any connections to local food or beverage establishments, we'd really enjoy the participation of them to join our event. Sponsorships, just an update on that. We have currently $7,500 committed as sponsors. We have 4 sponsors total right now is Mount Helix Foundation, Lifetime Home Remodel, Kimco Realty, and Sugarman's Bath. In 2025, our total sponsorship revenue was $7,400. So as of right now, we have exceeded last year's sponsorship, and then our goal is to obviously to increase. So we're still actively looking for businesses and partners and sponsors to join our event. And in 2024, we had $11,500. So we did mention at the report at the end of last year that we saw a dip in sponsorship participation, but we were my team is actively recruiting and massaging some relationships with some of our local and corporate sponsors to bring in more awareness and attention to this event. So I touched on ticket sales, but I just wanted to remind everybody what the current ticket prices are going for. So as a reminder, we did have early bird ticket sales that had just ended on August 1st. So we're now called the phase 1. So we are having a tiered ticket approach, trying to really incentivize our guests and our community members to buy early. And so now phase 1, it went up from 54.45. And this, so I will apologize, these are kind of non-round numbers, is because we are putting the the credit card and the transaction processing fee onto the customer so that we can retain the entire ticket price. So I do apologize, these are kind of non-round and easily digestible numbers. So our early bird was $54.45. Our phase one, which is our current tier, is $70.42. So we had an increase of $15 per ticket. This phase one will be going from August 1st to September 30th. And then for the last month from October 1st until the day of the event, we'll be at phase two, or we're calling it last chance, which will be an additional increase. So that will be at $81.06. We do have two additional ticket or add-on options. So we have something called a VIP package. So if you wanted to buy a reserved table, which includes the 8 tickets that would sit at that table, it is $542, which goes out to $67.75 each. So at this current phase and phase two, that is a deal. So not only do you get tickets at a discounted rate, but you also have a table included. And then for those who don't want to commit and buy all 8 tickets and have a table, we have an add-on option to just get the table, no tickets included, for $187.46. So we are also having a designated driver option, which we've had for many, many years. That price is $38.50, and that will remain constant throughout each phase. So we're not increasing the rate for designated driver options, but we are creating a tiered ticket approach for the general admission. We will have discounts for students, seniors, and military. It's going to be $5 off the current general admission price. So unlike last year where it brought everybody back down to that early bird rate, so currently at the $70.42, it would be $65. And then when we get to phase two, instead of $81, it would be $76. So we're just having a $5 off, and that's accessible through the website. Let's see. So the things that we've done so far to help promote the event and to get recognition and recruitment, we've put our Brews and Bites event on the website. Our city website's been on since the beginning of the year. The Chamber of Commerce. We have been putting advertisements in our recreation guide, spring, summer, and upcoming in fall. We'll do the same. We have flyers. So I have some, I apologize, I wasn't here early enough to get them out to you, but they'll come at the front entry and they'll be located everywhere. So we will be, we do have the Brews and Bites flyer, which is, if you have seen our summer flyer, has the concerts, it had Santee Salutes, it has Movie in the Park, and it has Brews and Bites on the bottom already. So we have been distributing these since the end of spring. But now we have the dedicated Brews and Bites flyer. It's highlighting some of our vendors on the back as well. So please make sure you take some and help us pass it around to the community. We have also been adding the Brews and Bites slideshow to SanteeTV, which has been going out to pre-slideshow for council, for Compact, for SPARC as well. We have been active on social media with Instagram and ongoing posts through Instagram. We have 2 Facebook accounts. So if you follow us on Facebook, we have a dedicated Facebook for special events as well as a general city of Santee. So we do have an event created. So if you guys are Facebook users, please engage with us. Please show interest that you are going to attend the Facebook event. It does help trickle out to your communities. We have sent out numerous email blasts through Square, through Eventbrite. So we actually sent one out to the previous ticket holders as well from last year, which is a great tool that we have with Eventbrite, with our digital ticketing platform, so that we can advertise and re-advertise to those ongoing customers. Just as a reminder, we did a big push at the last week of the early bird rates, and we saw a drastic increase in ticket sales, which was the goal. I can't say the exact number, but we're close to doubling ticket sales just from that last week of everybody trying to buy before the ticket prices increased. Let's see. We also have been doing a weekly ticket giveaway at the summer concerts. So we've been doing an opportunity drawing for people to enter. We have retained all of the guest emails as well, and we're targeting only those guests who are participating. Just for Brews and Bites, we're not doing any additional advertising or marketing to them, just those who have shown interest in attending the Brews and Bites event. Things that are still upcoming and will be continuing for our future marketing. As we get a little bit closer, we'll be doing a news segment and trying to reach out to the news stations to see if they'll pick up our story. We will be putting banners up in the near future. In the next couple weeks, we'll have the Mission Gorge banner, we'll have the street corner banners, and we'll also have all the 3-foot by 5-foot banners in our local parks. We'll be having an advertisement in the Waste Management newsletter. We'll be reaching out to the John Olson podcast. We'll be creating a promotional video, and we'll also be advertising at the directory board at Trolley Square. We have 2 large panels at Trolley Square, as well as the clock tower. And then we also will be utilizing and leveraging one free ticket at the Santee Stars, Stripes, and Sights Adventure Series or Adventure Pass. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. But I gave you a lot of information. I'll let you digest. But do you have any questions about Brews and Bites currently, next year, anything? Yes.
Same as last year. If you need any help, I can help set up a digital marketing campaign for Facebook and Meta. If you want, like, free of charge, I can help you with that. We can, like, geo-target Santee residents in a certain age group and everything.
Okay, perfect.
Like, for $200, we could probably hit, like, 100,000 people, so.
That would be lovely. I'll connect you with our marketing manager, if that's okay?
Yep.
Any other questions? I have a comment. I would like to challenge the entire committee to get out there and we all know our local vendors and our local businesses here in town to get out there when you're out there and about. Reach out to them and ask them if they want to sponsor. Ask them if they want to participate and be a vendor on site. And as always, talk to your friends and your family and say, hey, we got this cool event coming up. It's good that we're a little bit ahead of where we were last year, but if we together make a push, I think we can get this thing to sold out back to its glory days. So we have plenty of time. What do we have, 2 months? That's plenty of time in the new age. So, but get out there and try to ask folks to be a participant or a sponsor.
Totally agree. Is there a minimum on sponsorships?
No, we don't have. We build custom sponsorship packages to meet marketing goals and budget.
And who do I reach out to about that?
Myself.
Okay. I'll send you an email. Secondly, I'm pretty active like on social media with just what goes on in San Diego and involved in a lot of different things. There's an Instagram called San Diegoville, and I'm sure you guys have seen it and heard of it, and I think they have like 140,000 followers, but they are really active, and when people want to post and get certain things out there, like events, that's a great place. There's a lot of people to connect through the San Diegoville Instagram, and I don't know what they charge or if they charge, but it wouldn't hurt to get like our flyer and have them share that story out now or potentially like near the event date if we're still seeking to sell it out at that point. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions?
I did want to say that's really impressive, the amount of marketing that you're already doing. So, I mean, you're getting more ideas put on you now, but that's a pretty comprehensive list that you presented us. So it seems like you're way ahead of the game.
Thank you. I appreciate the marketing manager and a marketing assistant to help out with that as well.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Community Services Department update and reports. Nick.
I have no report, sir.
All right. Ann.
I'll give you a break from Becky for a second, but I'm going to hand it right back over to her. I just wanted to go over Recreation Division and what we've been up to. She'll go over some special event stuff, which is always exciting. Our fall brochure is hot off the presses. There is some here at the front desk that you can pick up and take a look at our upcoming fall programs. A couple things that we've been doing this summer has been day camp, and we've been very busy. So we've been going on field trips, and the staff has been phenomenal. I bring in a lot of seasonal staff who have really gone above and beyond this year because we do have a current vacancy in a route coordinator position. So really proud of them, and in fact, they are out having their final kind of staff meeting right now. So I'll be joining them later. The Teen Center is back to school operations starting on August 17th. And like I said, camp was actually ending on August 14th. If you are a teenager, you could stop by the Teen Center and participate in Tacos and Tunes on August 25th. We continue to work with our partners, the library, as well as SD Nights, to offer additional programs at the Teen Center. We also do offer a bus program. Our seniors are busy and have been fairly active this summer. They're currently going to be wrapping up their fitness challenge, and they document if they've been doing anything, and we give them a prize if they've accomplished their goals. And also a couple more interesting things that are also in the brochure for the seniors is our Women in the U.S. Navy. It's one of our Celebrate 250th years of the United States celebration activities. It's on August 19th. And August 26th, we have the AARP Music and Brain Health Jam Session. Ongoing, we have Feeling Fit, very popular program on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as some upcoming fun trips to Off-Broadway. They're actually going to go to SeaWorld and the Maritime Museum. We also have already picked out our holiday lunch date, which I know several people have attended in the past, December 11th. So if you're interested in participating, please let anybody on our staff know, and we'll get you registered. Our parks are always busy, and it is the fall sports season, so we have just started off with hosting Ravens football and cheer at Town Center Park, and then starting, I think, next week, AWSO starts, actually this week. So we're very busy at our parks, and if you have any need any more details, pick up a brochure. You can also find more information at santeerec.com. I'll hand it over to Becky.
Hello again. All right. So in addition to Brews and Bites, we have a lot of fun things that we're doing throughout the year. We are currently at the very tail end of our summer concert series. So tomorrow is August 6th. We'll have our co-hosted event is a national night out, and we're dedicating it as a salute to service night. So we are going to have a special patriotic ceremony as our pre-show entertainment in conjunction with the national night out event. So there'll be a lot of deputies, squad cars. So we kind of joke and just making sure if you see a lot of the sheriffs at the park, it's actually intentional that night, so please don't be alarmed. So the National Night Out will start at 5:30 tomorrow, and we'll go all the way, roll right into the Sea Monks performance, which is kind of a rockabilly country. And then next Thursday, August 13th, is the final show of our 2026 summer concert series, which is Betamax, a really popular 80s band, so please make sure you come out and join us for that. And then we have about a month in between for our team to recoup, relax, and start going full steam ahead for Brews and Bites. But we have the next event will be Movie in the Park, which is September 19th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Town Center Park East. We'll be watching a Minecraft movie. And then the week after, on Saturday, September 26th, we'll have the Waste Management Cleanup event located here at City Hall from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. And that's for residents only. So while the 4th of July has already passed, America is still celebrating 250 for the entire year, and that's no different here in Santee. If you have joined us over the last 3 months, we've had a really awesome opportunity for people to participate in a long-lasting art project called the Mural Mosaic. So we have hosted 3 community paint projects where people and families could come in and paint individualized tiles that will be installed by the end of the year, and then collaborative together. It's going to have, when you take a step back, it's going to have a beautiful image of an American flag with a bald eagle in front. But when you get closer, each tile will be personalized from the residents and communities and business members here in Santee. So we are very thrilled to have over about 200 tiles that have been painted for the community. And so we're excited to install that by the end of the year. We'll have more details on when that's going to be done and share that at that time. In addition to the Mural Mosaic, we are still ongoing with our monthly Santee Stars, Stripes, and Sights Adventure series, which is our monthly challenge for you to engage in our programs, events, and different park and facility amenities. So we're asking people to look for Santee Sammy, which is either a plush version of a bald eagle. Sometimes we have little Samlets, which are like the little ducks. So those are, I will give a little hint, we do hide them every week at the concert. There's about 10 Samlets hidden every single week at the concert, so hint, hint, go look tomorrow for those. And the bottom of those Samlets has a QR code, and everybody who finds a Sammy or a Samlet each month is entered into a monthly prize. As I mentioned, for Brews and Bites, we're going to be offering a Brews and Bites ticket this month and next month as the prize. So thank you for those who have been participating. And I did want to echo that the seniors will have that presentation on August 19th. I do want to put a special plug in. That's my mom who's going to be doing the presentation. I'm very proud of her. This is the 50th year of the General Ford has allowed women to join the military academies. So my mom is the first class of graduating women from the Naval Academy. So she'll be doing a special presentation about women in the Navy and history since then. So if you're available to join on August 19th, I'm sure she would love to share her experiences with you all. So that is my update for the events for the upcoming future. Is there any questions about what we have going on in this beautiful sunny Santee?
I got one.
Your question?
I do, but I'm going to go back to the camps real quick. Are there scholarships available for camps?
There's something we call the VIP program, which is the voucher incentive program, that actually the Brews and Bites events and SPARC supports that. It is a financial assistance program. It is not for completely free programs, but it is for a reduced price if they qualify.
And do you have the exact number of like how many campers you've had, like compared to years past? Like, was this a good
Booming year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that we're not a huge camp, but we are, I would say a busload is what we always aim for. So I would say that we have been at capacity and many weeks have been at a wait list situation.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Any other questions? I just want to say I participated in the mosaic painting. That was awesome. We had a gigantic crowd there. I think it was last Sunday. I can't remember, but yeah, it was very fun. It was very cool to get a tile made, and these kind of things just in the future. If you see it, it's cool because they're going to be up for a long time, forever until they die. And it was just very cool to see how many kiddos came out and how many adults were there painting these tiles. And it was a lot of fun.
I couldn't tell which one was yours, Dean.
Yeah, well, I couldn't draw the logo, so I put a martini glass. But yes, it was,
Close enough.
anyways, thank you. Okay, Eric, do you have anything?
Thanks, Dean. Real brief. You guys may have noticed the Walker Trail is under construction from the County of San Diego, redoing the sanitary sewer line that runs along the river there. So that project has commenced. So there's a lot of activity there. You have to be patient if you frequent the trail. It's going to remain open the whole time, but there could be minor interruptions with traffic on the trail, but for a good cause. And then over in Park and Landscape, we're just trying to beautify our parks, and we're getting ready for El Nino. So we're doing a lot of channel work, debris and vegetation removal in our brow ditches and our channels inside of our parks, as well as our public works crew doing it in our flood channels. A lot of flood control maintenance right now. We're trying to get ahead of this El Nino, supposed El Nino. But
Yeah.
that's about it. But any questions about anything going on that I can answer?
Yes. Cindy?
How long is the anticipated Walker Trail going to be under construction? What did whoever, Padre, or the water, what did they tell you?
I would have to look, Cindy, I could get back to you. I'll have to look back at those emails, but I think it's going to go into next year.
It's going to be over a year.
Like,
Yeah,
Over a year.
over a year.
okay, I mean, because we're August, so.
That's our guess, but I'll follow up with you
At least a
and
year.
try to
Okay.
get some solid information for you.
Just inquiry minds, because I know it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Anybody else?
I have some anecdotal feedback from Santee AYSO and about the fields and anything involved with that. And the reason it's anecdotal is because no news is good news. Nobody is blowing up my phone and blowing me up with emails, and so things must be going pretty well out there so far. Thank you.
Better. Thank you, Tony. Anybody else?
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, just thank you, Eric, for that. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate that. I just had one thing to add. I'd be remiss if I don't talk about the community center. It's been such a grandiose project that the city's been working on for several years. But in totality, Barnhart Reese has been a phenomenal contractor thus far. We did open the parking lot in early summer, so I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to go to the YMCA or just hang around Sportsplex or just take a stroll at Town Center Community Park East West. The parking lot is now accessible, and you could utilize it. The project's still slated to be complete roughly around October to November 2027, so stay tuned. I'll likely have Ask Engineering to come probably the next meeting or probably a few meetings after just to provide an overview as to what those deliverables are over time. But I just wanted to provide that information about the community center. Yes, ma'am.
As far as access to the park from that bridge, what, the East Bridge? So that's when that will reopen, correct?
Yes, yes. After we open back up, it'll
Okay.
open up again.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else? Any other questions? All right, cool. Thank you, staff. Okay, community updates, reports, general announcements. This is where you get to bring up your stuff that you want to talk about in the committee. Anything?
I do have something.
All right, what you got?
All right. I was kind of asking some questions that, will make a little bit more sense right now. But recently I've had the pleasure of, I obviously work for the Santee School District, and we run camps and do a lot of sporting events and a lot of stuff outside of the schools as well. But I just joined the Sports San Diego as a Red Coat ambassador, and they are a big organization that bring a lot of different events to San Diego, such as like the Holiday Bowl, the Bill Walton Classic, the California State Games. With that being said, I recently volunteered and I was running the pickleball tournament for the California State Games and doing scorekeeping. So it was just such a cool thing. And it kind of got me thinking a little bit about just my role as I'm learning here on the SPARC Committee and, what that entails, and just being a part of the city now and trying to get involved as much as possible. I work here, I live here, I joined this committee, and I'm developing a big passion for the city of Santee in general, learning about the different businesses, just the way things have gone, the way things go, the way just the community embraces certain things, specifically sports. I know how much the city and the people that live here love a lot of that. And it got me thinking about just who I am as a person and the things that I like to do and what I like to get involved with. And, I love hearing about all the different things that the city, the committee, and everybody brings up. And, talking about Brews and Bites, I have a lot of great ideas. I'm also somebody that wants to get my hands, dirty, for, a better lack of a statement or words. And I kind of want to, seek consensus with everybody on the council and talk about placing an item on the agenda for a future date, or maybe the next meeting, to talk about how this committee can get more involved. And when I say by more involved is, how do we fundraise for something like kids camps, senior camps, events that we can do to help the city and not just hear out different things that are going on, but rather than, maybe we host our own type of fundraiser. What that looks like, I don't know. I would leave it up to this committee. We have pickleball courts, hosting a pickleball tournament, hosting a poker night, poker tournament, whatever makes sense to this committee to want to get involved in, but just open up that dialogue and the discussion of what can we do as a committee to further the agenda of, what our mission is, and support the youth and support the senior events. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was just, finding a way to get involved more. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So, thank you.
I just want to kind of second that. I think it is a good, I've been on the committee now for a few years, and I feel like some direction would really help this committee quite a bit. We come in and we listen to some reports and we listen to some public statements, and we hear some stories about what people drank and did and so on and so forth during the weeks prior, but we never really have a common goal on what we're working for. Brews and Bites comes up, we bark at Becky about ideas and stuff, and then we all ridicule after the fact on how it went. But how can this committee go back to maybe what its original intention was, which is to become an advisory committee for the city council on all things Parks and Rec, and then also raise money and be more helpful and useful to the city from those different angles. And so the obvious answer first is support the Brews and Bites, and try to help that be as successful as possible. But then what after that can the SPARC Committee do to be more useful to the city council, and, to the members at large. So I think that's exactly what Victor's saying.
So I have some comments on that. We definitely could make a subcommittee or make a group and talk about different ideas and thoughts on how we can raise money. But if and when we raise money and we get help, whether from the city or not, those funds go into the city general funds, and then we can suggest and we could vote on how we think they should be spent, but we don't get a say. So if we let's say we raised $1 million, that would never, that would be that's a big lift, heavy lift. But those still go into the Santee funds, and then we just get to advise on what we think they should go to. So I want to keep that in mind, and that's kind of correct.
Yes. Those are amazing comments, by the way, and it's something that I know this advisory group would support, because that's really the thesis behind this group, raising funds, making sure that little Bobby could go out and play baseball and such. So Dean is correct. So very similar to how we used to conduct the Bluegrass Festival, there's this common concept that the monies raised from the Bluegrass Festival were SPARC funds. That was never really the case. They would go into the general fund they would be deposited into the general fund. The city manager has the authority to essentially disperse those funds however she or he sees fit. In these past years, we've dispersed those funds at our October meetings to teens, seniors, and youth, and it's something that we do every year. And I believe some of you guys do recall that action. I believe the newer members of SPARC, you'll see it relatively soon. That's how we could participate, and that's how we could work cohesively through this process. I like to think that staff will likely be in an advisory capacity to help you kind of steward some of your plans moving forward to make sure that you have everything fine-tuned. But any additional fundraising efforts would be great if this group could take the lead, and staff would definitely assist you guys in the process. Because that's how the original building blocks of Bluegrass was initially. Bluegrass was led by the SPARC group, but over time, staff took more of a lead effort on that. And right now, it's fully supported by staff, with a lot of SPARC members kind of just advocating, buy a ticket here and there or volunteering the day of, which was really helpful, by the way. So Dean is absolutely correct.
So in the past, some of the older ways we raised funds at events, concert nights, good example. SPARC would have a booth and they'd sell hot dogs or something, or snow cones or whatever, and they would raise some money, and that would go into the general fund. So those kind of things in the past were done, and it was a core group of 3 or 4 of the SPARC committee that went out there and put the effort into get some stuff, sell it, and that kind of stuff. And we also have the Santee Community Foundation, which is the nonprofit leg of the city of us. It's not directly related to us, but that's where a lot of the funds go to when we raise money for. From large folks, or if somebody wants to donate $10,000, then they could donate it to the Santee Community Foundation, and then we can utilize some of that for. But that board kind of dictates where that money goes and has control over that fund. When the money comes back to the city, then it's us saying, hey, we want to use it for this. So those kind of things.
So
we could definitely.
Sorry to interrupt. Would there be a way, if we came up with a new, some other fundraising opportunities throughout the year, even something as small as snow cones at the concert, where we could decide where that money goes as a committee, or is it always going to have to go to the general fund?
It's always an advisory capacity. So if we raised $5,000 selling snow cones, it goes to the city, and then we could say, hey, we want to spend that money, but they get to ultimately decide where that money goes.
So I remember Dan Bickford was always a few years ago. It was kind of a controversial issue. We were chatting about where we had $140,000, and then suddenly it was gone, and the general fund had swooped it up or something. At that time, was it still under SPARC's control, and we would vote we want $10,000 for the new pickleball courts, or we wanted $5,000 for this or that?
Yes, we could say that, and we can vote on that. And as advisory committee, that goes to the city council and to the city manager, saying we all voted that we want to give $10,000 to pickleball.
And then we're advising city council that we think that's a good idea.
They get to make the ultimate decision on where the money goes. So we're just an advisory. Our chapter, our core is we get to advise where we think And so when we vote in a couple months on, we want to give $7,000 or $8,000 to the seniors and the teen center and that kind of stuff, that is us advising that. They get to ultimately say yes, or let's cut it down to 5 or something to that effect.
Well, then how about for the next meeting, we have a brainstorming session in the next meeting for like top five things we could agree as a committee on that we'd like to raise money for. And then we'll work backwards from that. How are we going to raise that money in addition to Brews and Bites? And then when that money's been raised, whether we hit our goals or not, then we can advise city council on where we'd like it to go from our top 5 list. Like then I think these meetings would be so much more productive because we might have like more purpose. And then I think it might get everyone here excited about, their contribution to the SPARC committee,
And I'm sorry, go for it.
And I guess what Ryan's trying to say too is this committee now, finding like we can move it to another agenda item for, I'm asking for consensus to place this on the agenda item for a upcoming meeting, but is taking ownership in like us talking about a fundraising event. And I'm totally okay with like the city, that the money goes to the city, obviously, and then we advise, hey, like, we would love if this money went towards X, Y, and Z. Like I said, I'm passionate about our youth. I work, coached, I've done that forever. So whatever it may be, I'm asking for the committee to talk about this in a future event, a future meeting, like what fundraising options we might have, maybe a pickleball tournament. Like I said, it does not matter what it is, but just to open up that discussion is what I'm asking for.
And I fully support that. I want to remind you all, and I try to make this clear every single year, our biggest fundraiser for SPARC is the Brews and Bites. So if you want to start somewhere and you want to put some effort into something to get us money that we already have a gigantic audience, this is the one to do it. Get out there and have people buy tickets because we have a platform to where we used to get $50,000 into our funds because of this event. And after COVID, it kind of dipped and now we're building it back up. So if you're passionate about raising money for the kiddos, because this money goes into a thing where we can then say, hey, we'd like to do money for whatever, this is the biggest event right now. And the heavy lift is done by the city. It used to be the SPARC committee that did this. So there's a big heavy lift with the city right now on this event, but it's something that would fill our coffers of having some money. So I want to bring that up, and I bring it up the last 7 years. I've said, this is the event that we want to put some effort into. So, but I definitely support, and if we, do we have to take a vote on consensus? We don't need a. Yeah, it can go on there. Well, we have to have consensus on agenda items. So, I'd raise a motion here to have an agenda item for the next meeting to brainstorm on additional fundraisers, and then we can move on from that point. But is everybody?
I second that. Yep.
Yeah. So do we have to vote? Do we have to vote for?
Just as long as we can get consensus.
Yeah, we got a consensus. Anybody against it? No. Okay. Consensus is next meeting, we're going to have an agenda item to speak about additional fundraisers and brainstorm about what we can do.
Fundraiser recipients or,
Do you want to talk about the recipients before we talk about getting money? Because I think horse before the cart there.
Yeah, I think that, coming up with fundraising ideas. And like I said, I'm all in on Brews and Bites. This will be my first Brews and Bites. You can put me down for a table, so I'll talk to you about that. And that'll be another way I'll help and get tickets. And now I'm getting my friends and family to buy tickets. So I'm super excited.
Perfect. Awesome.
I think it's a good idea.
Thank you, guys. Anyone else have any general comments or reports?
I do have a comment about that, and I'm glad that you brought that up because it actually inspires me to perhaps reach out to the soccer organizations that we have, and specifically maybe try to advocate for Town Center Park to be a venue for the tournaments that we have around town. So we actually had one a couple of years ago, and unfortunately the fields got closed due to rain. Now that we've put all this time and money into the fields, and I'm sure they're going to turn out great, right? We can go out, I can go out and advocate and say, hey, let's have these tournaments here in Santee instead of La Mesa and over in Mira Mesa. We have the grill, which people love. We have the restrooms, the brick restrooms, people love. So I'll take it to go out and advocate for that, and maybe we can build something
And
there.
those soccer tournaments are great for the city because it brings eyes on our city to see how amazing our facility is, because we have an amazing facility, because you and me both know we've been in soccer for 30 years, and we go to other places to play tournaments, and it's terrible. And it also brings in revenue to the city because they have to pay a permit fee to have those tournaments. So I've always advocated for
And if they spend their money here, if they eat here
Absolutely.
or they buy a car here while they're here on Sunday or something, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
At
So-
Sedano Chevrolet.
So I could actually take an action to reach out and provide a report next time we get together to see if there's any
Interest, yeah. And you can always send them, you have to send them to Ann or her department for, to ask for those permits, and if we have those dates. And I've always advocated for highest and best use of our sports facilities. And if we have three, this is the olden days, but if we go back to the olden days where we have three matrix teams with 6 people on them and they want the fields, but if there's a giant tournament that wants to come and bring 1,000 people here, I think highest and best use for our fields is the best for our community and for the city. So, and because we have plenty of sports fields here, and that was always a sticky point for the Matrix folks on being moved to one of the other 15 fields we have to free up the big field for a large tournament. So I fully support that. I've supported that since I became a member of SPARC many years ago and the chair of SPARC. So, cool. Anything else? Next is the non-agenda public comment. Stacy, do we have any speakers?
Yes, we have 2 speakers. Our first speaker is going to be Carl Costantino.
Hi. I just am curious as what the timeline is for getting cameras into the parks and the trails, because I haven't heard anything about it now for a while. And I was up at Shadow Hill Park on Monday night. I was just telling Eric that they got the DG on the trail. It really looks nice. But there was a bunch of kids on bikes and scooters running around terrorizing the families that were trying to have picnics, screaming and riding through their area. And a couple of us got them chased off.
Good.
But, it's a security thing. So, and if they knew there were cameras there, because everybody knows that sign that says 24-hour video surveillance means nothing. So what is the timeline?
I will
whatever?
back you up. I live across from Weston Park, and we had a pretty bad incident on July 4th. The sheriffs were out, and about 25 kids on e-bikes and lighting off fireworks. Some of them shot horizontal instead of up into the dry brush on the other side of the park, and it was pretty bad. And, some adults chased them off, and of course, then the parents came and yelled at the adults who chased them off. It was just like a big mess. So I think cameras are a great idea. I don't know. I have no idea where we're at with them.
Well, I know at one point, I can't remember whether it was a city council meeting or this meeting, but we talked about cameras going in. There was some discussion about getting them into the trails first. But some of the problem areas, if they're not a trail and it's a park, maybe they need to be prioritized. But my biggest question is where are we on that?
So I could respond to you, Carl. Thanks for coming out, by the way. Appreciate your participation. So right now, the city has done everything required to move this forward. Right now, it's still with the county board of supervisors. It has to be approved by the supervisors first before we get approval to move forward, because this is a sheriff camera program rather than a city of Santee program. What the city is doing is that we're merely providing the funds to the sheriff's department, and they're going to install, monitor, manage the PRA request, manage, if they get damaged, they'll replace them. They'll manage the licensing fees. The only thing the city is doing is providing the funds to the San Diego Sheriff's Office to install them. So we've done all we could on our end. Now we're just waiting for the County Board of Supervisors to approve it. Once we get that final signature, we'll issue payment to the Sheriff's Office, and they're going to order the materials, I believe, from some location in Arizona. And from there, it takes about 3 to 4 months to install.
Okay.
So your next stop, San Diego County Board of Supervisors, and ask them when they're going to approve because we've done everything we can do.
I will certainly reach out to Joel Anderson
Yep.
on that.
Awesome. Thanks, Carl.
What kind of timeline do things like that usually have?
For
10 years?
agenda items for County Board of Supervisors, I wouldn't be able to speak at length to that, but everything has a process, and I'm sure it's probably near the finish line.
So you have no visibility. We have no visibility, it sounds like.
We've done our job, is what we're saying.
And we've reached out to them about 2 times. They're great partners, by the way, and they've let us know it's still at that level. And when it's agendized, then we should get that document back, and we'll issue payment.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Stacy.
Our next speaker is SD Collins.
Good evening. My name is Collins, and I represent a disc golf club that plays out of Mass Park. I moved here from Colorado about 2 years ago to help my brother run his businesses, and disc golf has been a part of my life for about 8 years, so continuing to play here in San Diego was kind of a no-brainer. Out of every course in the area, Mass Park is the one I fell in love with. The people, the community, all of it. Now I want to give back to the park that gave me so much, also the community. My vision has 2 parts: improving the quality of play and improving the look and feel of the park for everyone who uses it. Not only the disc golfers, but also the families at the playgrounds, folks in the dog park, and everyone on the basketball court. First, the baskets. Later this year, we'll be raising money to replace all of the current disc golf baskets with new ones, which will be the same style, same brand as the current ones, just the 2026 rendition. However, the part I'm most excited about is the old baskets don't get sold or thrown away in this vision I have. There are 6 to 7 schools in the Santee district, and plan on working with the city, and we'll be donating those baskets to those schools. There's an old saying that says, idle hands are the devil's playground, and in my years of playing disc golf, I've learned that the sport not only gives you something to do outdoors, but it also teaches patience, judgment, sportsmanship, and much more. And so, these qualities obviously are required to be a decent disc golfer, but I find they're also required to be a decent person in society. So getting the game of disc golf in front of kids at that early age, especially at-risk kids, is a chance to give them something constructive to occupy their time, get some outdoors, as opposed to playing video games 24/7 or terrorizing people trying to have a picnic. I've already broken this into 5 phases, starting with fundraising tournament called That's My Partner, which will take place later this year in my vision. My goal is a tournament of 100 people, all giving $100 each, which will give us what we need to replace all 10 baskets, which is 10 grand. I already have pledges from 15 people, collected from about 4 to 5 people, and even I haven't started promoting it publicly. Second is landscaping. Just a beautiful park brings more visitors, which means more revenue through the course pay-to-play system. It also raises property value for homes that line the park and improves the quality of use for all park goers. Last thing I'll say, even though the wheels are already moving, I believe it becomes something bigger when the rest of the community gets involved with us. So, most of the time, the skill and the will we need to accomplish our goals is already in the room. And we just need the vision laid out for people to step into their roles. So I love Mass Park. I want to leave it better than I found it for the golfers, the dog walkers, kids on the playground, and everybody else who calls it their own. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Collins. Okay. With that, I would like to say this meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for coming. We'll see you next month.